This week on Lone Lobos.
I'm one half of your host, Xolo Maridueña, joined by Jacob Bertrand.
I love feminine rage.
Okay.
Her dress is not blue, Disney.
And they're not mice. Wait.
They are mice.
Spider-Man, Far From Hawaii. Boom. Easy.
Did you cry?
I cry every time I think about Hawaii, but
I'm the crib that everyone goes to, so like my spot would be blown up right quick. It's so hot.
What?
What?
Yeah. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go! Come on.
Welcome. Ba-ba-da-ba. Habibi had a little mishap and can't make it today, so I figured let's pivot and do a different type of episode. So, with that being said, welcome to this week's episode of the Lone Lobos podcast. I'm one whole of your host today, Xolo Maridueña. The cinephile will call today because I'm sharing with you all some of my favorite movies, why they're important to me, why I like them, why I think you should watch them. And to join me are my two favorite podcast producers, Monica and JMKM, to also share their favorite movies because everyone loves movies, right?
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, even though Jordan is more of a TV person and
Yeah.
Monica has really only seen Disney movies, but
Yeah.
it's okay. We don't discriminate here
Yeah,
on
we
the
got
Lone
some good
Lobos
movies.
podcast. This is a safe space. And that being said, first up, or my only honorable mention, because we just have one slot for the honorable mention, is Mad Bills to Pay, also known as Destiny, Dile que no soy malo. This is a movie that I saw this year at Sundance Film Festival. And boy, am I grateful for having the opportunity to be in the room where it premiered, because this movie is, I think, falls in line with another big genre of movies I like in realism, hyper-realism, we'll even call it, although I don't truly even know what hyper-realism is. Do you guys know, like, what's the difference between realism and hyper-realism? Like,
Well, this is how
basically,
they present reality.
okay.
Like realism captures like everyday life, but hyperrealism takes like realistic representation to an extreme level.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So perfect. I think then in that case, maybe the genre that I like is hyperrealism, because I think that there's something really magical about being able to, one of the big reasons that I love movies is because of the human experience and your ability to tell stories about why we are as people, who we are as people through movies. And when you're able to, in this case, really hone in on a specific story, and make you feel like, make you feel like it's almost a documentary, like what you're watching is really going down. This movie does that to a T. I think also another director who does this really well is Sean Baker, of course, who just won for his Best Picture, Anora, right? Like very, if you've seen that movie, if you've seen The Florida Project, and you want to get down into the nitty gritty with X person, like let's follow these characters, Mad Bills to Pay is the type of movie for you. It's serious, funny. I especially love it. I have a bias as a Latino because it follows a Latino family in New York. And it's, to give you a quick synopsis, we follow our character Rico in his 19-year-old journey into fresh fatherhood. And it's tough, but they make it happen. And I think it makes you feel really happy. It makes you, happy cry, sad cry. And it's just every production. I think maybe we've chatted about it on this podcast before even. The actors are phenomenal. The cinematography is really special because they didn't have the budget to set up different shots so every single scene is just one frame. They hold the frame for the whole scene, and you see people walking in and out of rooms, and if the light isn't perfect, that's okay, whatever's. But I would definitely wait to see when to watch it. Unfortunately, this one you can't watch just yet. They're waiting for some distribution. It's still running around the film circuit, the film festival circuit, I should say. And I will definitely keep y'all posted for when that movie comes out, because I want the world to see it for sure. Monica, Jordan, what are y'all honorable mentions? And kind of like, what's the context? Why does this one make honorable mentions and not the list? The list for right now, let's say.
So my honorable mention is Baby Boy.
Baby Boy, okay.
It's directed by John Singleton, starring Tyrese and Snoop Dogg. And it's an honorable mention because I haven't really seen it much since I've seen it, but it was my first R-rated movie that I saw in the theaters.
That's so special that you remember that.
Yeah, and I was just like...
Movies are so fun in that way that you can remember like the theater, the moment, the month,
the
like
whole day.
What the heck was going on in your life at that time.
Yeah.
So it's a comedy, it sounds like?
It's a serious drama. It's a coming of age story. It's about a character named Jody who has like mommy issues. He's trying to navigate being a young adult. His mom gets with this new dude in the hood. And the dude moves into the house and has to deal with that. Originally, it was written for Tupac.
Okay.
So
during his run of like...
Yes.
Okay.
So as a teenager, I was like a big Tupac fan. And there's a lot of Tupac references in there. I was like really into Tupac.
Is it set in Los Angeles?
Set in Los Angeles. LA is a character. And I love films where LA is a character. Now that I live here, it's so cool to go places and feel like I'm in the movie, or like I'm in GTA, for example. Like when people come to town and they're just like, this is just like GTA. That's what it was like.
You're like,
when I first moved here.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Los Santos.
Yeah. And it was like you remember the moment.
What would you say are the best parts of the movie? Like the acting, the cinematography, the writing, the directing. Like,
I think it's the writing.
Okay.
It showed me like that as an 11-year-old, I learned that as a man that you can be vulnerable. There's scenes where Tyrese's character Jody is wrong and he cries, or there's scenes where he's fighting and he does wrong as well. By his partner in the film, played by Taraji P. Henson.
Nice. Love her.
And I love Snoop. Snoop plays the villain. Snoop does really well as a villain, in my opinion. I love when he's a villain. He's such just like skeletal character,
Do you think that he, it's hard with someone that famous to picture them outside of the thing that we know them as? Did he blend in? Did he transform Snoop?
I think he was Snoop. He played Snoop turning heel.
Okay.
Like,
that's nice.
There's moments when in his music he's that character. It's not like he put on like a new, like there's a film that Snoop is in called Bones, for example.
Yep.
Where he plays like a vampire, I believe. It's not like that. He's just a Snoop character with a flannel, with the hair cap, but he's just like the bad guy. So
nice.
It was cool. And I just remember being like, because it was the context. It was, I was sleeping over a friend's house, and going to the movies alone was like never a thing. So we got to go, like, it was like arcade movies, solo, me, my friend, and it was his cousin that was in town at the time. And we were just like running around Hilo and going to this movie. We should not have seen this movie. Never. That's what made it fun. And I think my mom was pretty pissed when she found out.
That's always a good, So
that's why it's my honorable mention. It's nostalgic. It's on my list to watch again. I've been watching
you should watch it again.
John Singleton films lately. Some F. Gary Gray films lately. I've been watching. Like,
what are some other ones for the folk that don't know who
for John Singleton?
Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Okay. Yeah, love that one.
Boys in the Hood is like a classic. You want to see a dead body?
Okay.
That's like a common phrase. Higher Learning is a good one. He actually did Too Fast, Too Furious.
Okay. Cool.
But one of his most renowned films is Poetic Justice, Tupac and Janet Jackson.
Word.
So
Okay.
Yeah, we'll circle back. There'll be more Tupac on the list.
Hey, all right. Monica, what's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Whoa.
directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Wow.
Tarantino, first
Yeah.
Tarantino
Okay.
film as a honorable mention.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So tell me, why?
So I grew up never really watching movies.
Okay.
My parents had me very sheltered. We didn't have a lot of money, so going to the theater was not an option. And there was a lot of media that I was never exposed to until I got to my later years of college. And I have always heard of Tarantino, but I've never seen any of his films. And the first time I watched this was with Josh, and he had invited me to go to the New Beverly Cinema,
Nice.
which is, if you guys don't know, it's owned by Quentin Tarantino. It's across the street from the Grove. Great place, little local movie theater. And it really exposed me to what, to quote Harry Styles, it really felt like a movie.
It's like when you watch it, it's like a
it
movie.
feels like a movie, love. It was, I had never seen anything like that before, and I really
Describe that. Put some
it felt
identity
very,
to that.
very cinematic, and I really like period pieces. Even
Okay.
when I say period, I don't mean like movies that look like they're made from the 1800s or like 1700s. I like it when like this movie takes place, like in the 60s, 70s, and everything looks so real.
All of the departments are like
I really like pay attention to like the art department and like, oh my
Yep.
God, like this record player, like the shirt that Margot Robbie is wearing,
Yeah.
the jacket, the car, the language, the way they talk. And I can really tell that they put a lot of effort into really going in and researching on what it was like to live in this city during that time. And I'm very fascinated by Hollywood sorry about that, as like in terms of like analyzing it. I'm very big on knowing like, how did we get to here? Like I love walking down like Hollywood Boulevard or even Sunset and just looking at the old buildings and being like, wow, what I would have given
Chateau Marmont.
what I would have given to be able to know what it's like to walk down the street, like
the OG House of Blues.
Yeah. And there's like, I really like history.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's a pretty good element of that. You have like
so does Tarantino,
yeah, DiCaprio's character, who's like he's like, I'm a has-been, I'm a washed up, actor or whatever. And also like it's kind of loosely based on Sharon Tate, R.I.P., who was this like up and coming like indie darling in the world, and unfortunately was murdered by one of the Manson clan members.
Yeah, it definitely it is fascinating the times that like predate when we were around. I think it's really cool to get to see a glimpse of that, and you're definitely right. It did a great job of showing that. What would you say for someone who hasn't seen the movie? What are the themes? Like, what is the movie about? What is it trying to tell you by the end of it? What do you think? Or is it just, because this is kind of the thing that I feel about most Tarantino movies. Most of the time it feels like a vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily, I can't tell you like some other directors where it's like, oh, this is a parallel to this type of war, or this is about caste and class, or this is about the hero's journey. Like I couldn't tell you, or like I would love to hear your perspective, because I didn't rewatch it.
The way I see it, it's kind of the same way I feel about Licorice Pizza.
Okay.
It's kind of like a vibe.
A highlight reel?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a vibe, and it has a somber ending because, in spoiler alert, in this movie, Sharon Tate, which is played by Margot Robbie, she lives. And the way that I kind of talked about it with some people, they're like, this is kind of like in the reality when Sharon Tate was murdered, it's kind of like the death of like innocence in Hollywood.
Got you. All right. Okay. I like that.
Oh, that's interesting. I need to watch that.
Let's we'll watch it. And
It's
do a deep dive.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, I've never seen a Tarantino movie prior to this.
Which ones have you seen since?
I watched Kill Bill,
Okay.
and I think that's
Inglorious Bastards,
Django?
Django Unchained.
no, I haven't
I saw
seen those.
Django, yeah.
All I knew about Tarantino
Reservoir
is
Dogs.
that he does a lot of like really weird, like bloody things, and
Yeah.
you don't really see that in this film. And I kind of forgot it until you get to the last real 30-45 minutes where I don't like gore, I don't like blood, and my jaw was on the floor. And
Interesting.
by the way, Academy Award-winning Mikey Madison is in this film.
And also, I mean, it was a breeding pool. It was
Maya Hawke,
Maya Hawke,
Austin Butler,
yep.
Dakota Fanning,
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley.
Qualley.
Oh, Dakota Fanning's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone that was in that movie went on to do crazy things.
Absolutely.
So it's if you want to check out some of their earlier work, definitely check this out. Also, our friend Marty Cove was in the movie as well. Made a quick cameo.
Is the Sharon Tate plotline, is it a big plotline or?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
what I want to do is maybe watch like
It's
like a true crime about Sharon Tate, and then I'll watch the movie.
It's like two
so
different
tragic.
storylines, it seems. I only watched it once, but
Yeah.
it seems like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are a duo because Leonardo DiCaprio is this washed up actor, as Monica has described, and
Brad Pitt is kind of his stunt double
Mhm.
and his chauffeur because he can't drive anymore.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And then it also follows Margot Robbie and her like journey through Hollywood.
Yeah, she's an upcoming actress, and she ends up getting pregnant along the way.
Talk about Sharon Tate.
Yes.
They got Bruce Lee in there. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just remember seeing like the Bruce Lee fight scene on YouTube. Like,
Yeah, no, I remember seeing this one too, where he gets fucking thrown into the car,
yeah.
dents the car. I'm
Bruce
like,
Lee.
whoa, that's the representation. That's the Bruce Lee that we know and love. Really, this is this
They
is
low-key
that's
disrespected,
what
bro.
Quentin Tarantino is like. He's like,
He hurt you.
yeah, you guys like this guy.
That's what I'm saying. I was just like, what the heck? That's so
Also, it's
crazy.
really cool because this film is almost like a love letter to Hollywood
Yeah.
in a kind of somber way where all the places they filmed are here in LA. So like the Fox Theater, El Coyote
Mm.
Cafe, which is, like it's all there and it's still here.
They just, I mean, and he had the money to really show you like what it
Yeah.
looked like back then too. So that's
Mhm.
cool.
Oh, so sick. Awesome.
I love it. Well, there's our
Because-
honorable mentions. We're starting off to a great little mix here. The new, the
random.
the random, and the classic, I guess, the GOAT, as some would say. Moving into number 4, I have kind of another really influential film to me that that got me into the greater world of like what people outside of the US can make when it comes to movies. And it's none other than Alejandro Iñárritu's film Amores Perros. It's a what is the word for it? Anthology. It's multiple stories in one movie that all tie back to one event, one car crash. I think there's another movie that follows kind of similar plot lines that was done out here. I think maybe called Crash.
Crash.
That
Yeah, I was
that
gonna
I'm
say Crash,
forgetting.
yeah.
But this movie is, I'm even having a hard time. It's a movie of misfortune for sure. It's a movie of how, we get in our own ways and we sometimes are our own worst enemies, and whether it be greed or lust or passion or all of these things that we go through in life, it does a really great job, I guess, of just showing different situations. I like it so much because the directing, the camera work, similar to some of the other movies that I enjoy, is really poetic. I think there's something really raw and visceral about the camera selection and then all the position. One of the storylines is about dogfighting, and they really get in there. And of course, no animals were harmed, and it's a messy story. And that being said, Alejandro Iñárritu and who's the writer of this movie? Does a really great job of tying it all together at the end.
Guillermo Arriaga.
Okay,
How'd I do?
Yeah.
great
Great job.
job. I don't even want to say too much about what the movie's about because you just got to watch it. But what I will say is that it made me curious as to like what characteristics came from different countries. In college, you learn about like French New Wave and like this is what the French did with cinema and this is what the Italians did with cinema and blah, 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 blah. I don't really hear much about the Mexicans and what we did with cinema. And I think Alejandro Iñárritu is a really great example of like maybe what that could look like. And it's and I'm still getting to ingest a lot of it and still getting to like, or I should say dissect a lot of it. But if there's anywhere to start, it would be with this, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's the first film in a trilogy series that he calls.
Really?
He calls it. Sorry, I had it right here. It's the first film in like a trilogy, and he calls it the Trilogy of Death.
Really?
And it's succeeded by 21 Grams,
Okay.
and then Babel or
Yeah.
Babel. How do you
Babel.
say Babel?
Yeah. Babel, both.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the more well-known films. I mean,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's in that one, but
Adriana Barraza, who
Yeah.
is Nana in Blue Beetle, is in it as well. She
There
gives
you
a
go.
great performance.
so have you seen those films as well?
I've seen Babel. I haven't seen 21 Grams.
Maybe watching it together with the context that this was his first. It was, I mean, this film was his first release.
Really?
It was released in the year 2000, followed it by 21 Grams, 9 Lives, and then, 9 Lives, he was the producer, I'm sorry. But for Babel, he was the director.
Yeah.
so-
More recently, I mean, he got Leonardo DiCaprio his Oscar for The Revenant.
Revenant, that's a really good movie. And
It's a different vibe for sure.
there's a new one coming out, Untitled. Jesse
Yeah.
Plemons.
I mean, he was supposed to be for a while. He was developing like the first Nahuatl like TV series. It was going to be an Aztec, like a show based in the Aztec Empire. That was going to be fully in Nahuatl. I was really excited about that. I
Sick.
hope he does that again.
Yeah.
What about y'all? Number 4. Monica? Talk to me.
My number 4.
You're having a hard time deciding what's number 4?
My number 4 is X,
Whoa.
directed by Ty West, starring Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't
You're-
seen this one, but I heard about it.
I watched. This is the first one, right?
Yeah.
This is the only one
first
that I've seen.
This is the
a
first
trilogy.
chronologically, like, no, theatrically, it's the first one that came out in 2022.
Oh, what's the next one?
Then came Pearl, and then came Maxine. But if you're watching it in the order it's supposed to go, first it's Pearl, then it's X, and then it's Maxine.
All right.
Yeah. But I love feminine rage.
Okay.
Grew up very tired of being constantly told, you need to be quiet, you need to be this. And I was like, no. So I love movies where the girl brutally kills her boyfriend or partner because well-deserved.
Yeah. Promising young woman.
Oh, he's so good. Yes. What I really like about X is it's the first horror slasher movie that made me cry.
Whoa.
This group of people in the 70s go to this farm to do this X-rated film.
Yeah.
But they don't tell the owners of the farm. And on this farm is this woman named Pearl who lives there. And she's old. And Pearl's like, all she wanted to do was become famous.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't get a chance to, you know, to do that. And when these people come in, Brittany Snow's character, there's a scene where you can see Brittany Snow she's beautiful, she's hot, she's sexy, she's this like blonde bombshell. And she's singing about like, you know, when I'm older, who's really gonna love me? And then it transitions to the scene of Pearl, and it's Mia Goth's
She plays both.
playing both the characters. And she's this really like old woman, and she's looking at young photos of herself, and she's getting really emotional. And it really like made me feel something like, oh wow, like right now when you're young and you don't have wrinkles, like people look at you and you're like, you're gorgeous. Everyone wants to talk to you. Everyone wants to sleep with you.
Mhm.
Everyone wants to, be next to you. And then the reality is once you get a certain age, like no one really wants to be around you anymore because you're a has-been, or like there's nothing else that's good enough
Yeah.
to be, to keep up with the times and the young folk. And I don't know, I found that really touching. It made me think about like a lot of my neighbors are old people and their kids, and like people don't come visit them. And I found that like really disturbing, but also kind of like, I hope this isn't my reality when I get to the age of like 85, 89,
Mhm.
And again, it's also about rage.
And Mia Goth, I
Yeah.
mean, definitely gives like a breakout performance. Although she was already established, like I think that movie really set her apart, especially in the like horror where you actually are connecting with the main character and
Mhm.
like where the acting is like outstanding.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about, did they film all of these at the same time? How did this, like I was hearing something about like they did these really quickly.
Yeah, they
Bing, bang,
filmed these
bop.
all. From what I do know is that this was supposed to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
X came out first, and immediately once they finished filming X, they did Maxine and Pearl back to back.
And I mean, I have to watch the other two, but Mia Goth definitely is a really great, phenomenal actor.
She's she was an indie darling, and now she's kind of blowing up, and I'd like to see her in more roles. And then Jenna Ortega is in this also, and she's a phenomenal scream queen as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about, I have yet to work on a horror, but it seems interesting getting to peek behind the curtain and see, I wonder if it would be scary. Like maybe something like X, no, because there's like a tinge of like camp to it in the
It is camp, and that's also why I love
in
it.
the way that they're doing it. But something like The Exorcist, I'm like filming that. Those people like had some weird stuff happen to them after. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jordan,
So, yeah. Scary.
number 4.
Number 4 for me is a movie from 2008 called Cloverfield. Do you know it?
Oh my god!
Is it in the Cloverfield Lane series?
It's the
first one?
Yeah, it's the first one, and the Cloverfield series are kind of not really related. It's
Is
one
it
of those weird-
sci-fi?
It's a
Like
found
like
footage.
grounded sci-fi?
It's found footage monster horror,
Yeah.
and it's completely different from 10 Cloverfield Lane or what's the other one? You just said, what movie did you say?
Cloverfield Lane.
There's another one.
Cloverfield Paradox.
Super 8?
Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh.
I think John Goodman's in that one.
Okay, so Cloverfield.
Yeah. So have you seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's found footage. It's basically these group of friends are having a party, and a monster touches down. But the thing that I really liked was there was a whole like ARG, like augmented reality game up to this release. The
Oh.
release of the movie was the same day of the events in the movie. Meaning like it came out on January 18th.
Mhm.
And a year prior, when Transformers came out, a very cryptic trailer was attached to Transformers, and that's where everything started. One of those like, here's a blip of a something.
There's some really good publicity for the movie.
Yeah, and
really good
it
marketing.
was like when I first moved up here, and I just had a lot of time, so I was like, I got into the lore of the movie before it came out because I was like tracking this. Like, what is this? They did things like, this is gonna sound so funny. Every character, a lot of characters, even some minor characters that were at the party that didn't even have lines, had like MySpace pages talking about the party.
Oh.
And there were hidden messages, and there was like a whole subplot. So this movie is by Matt Reeves, by the way, and it's
Directed most recently the
The
Batman.
yeah, and it's produced by J.J. Abrams. So it
Yeah.
has that lost J.J. Abrams feel of like what is going on.
It's like, yeah, I remember like J.J. Abrams is the sci-fi guy. Like
Yes.
he loves sci-fi, but his stuff often feels like grounded and like real.
Yeah. And do you know about J.J. Abrams and Slush Show?
No.
Slush Show is like the fictional Icy, for example,
Okay.
that appears in a lot of his films. So
Oh, nice.
what he did was he made it into like this deep lore where there's a Japanese company harvesting this alien substance from the bottom of the sea, and that's what's in Slush Show, and it's making everybody crazy. And the monster is like coming down because of Slush Show, and there's all this lore, and I just really liked it. And
Found footage is an interesting method for a movie too, because it's, if anything's going to put you right there in the situation, it's that. And I feel like there's a lot of preparation that needs to go into that as well.
Yeah, multiple websites, fake corporate websites. Some of it weren't even related. All tied to the drilling operations in the ocean from the Japanese company Tagruato. And it culminated with this people having a random party on a January night. And there's a lot of the actors. I mean, Lizzie Kaplan is probably the most known actress from that film at the time.
I was just about to ask.
But TJ Miller, it was his first film. So a lot of them, it was like new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just fun. And a fun fact is that when I moved out here, I found out that they filmed a big part of that movie inside the Macy's at the San Antonio Mall.
Oh, word.
So like when I used to work there, and I like, did you know that this is where Lizzie Kaplan blew up?
Whoa.
Like in this, I was like, you know the scene where she's in the blah blah blah.
Was it scary?
Should say it's anxiety inducing.
Okay.
Obviously, dark, found footage, jump scares. Which now I always say I don't like horror, but when I think of like movies that I do like, it's less about jump scares and more about like anxiety.
Yeah, those get your heart rate up and like keep it up.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely recommend. And it's I mean, I don't think much came from the subsequent movies, but for the time
They did for them.
I mean, for the time when a lot of these social media was new and the internet, like it was the perfect time to do something like that. I think in the late 2000s or whatever they call it, the aughts or whatever. What do you call it? Yeah, 2000s. Yeah.
Shoo! All right. Before we get into number 3, let's take a quick break. Yeah. All right, headed into number 3. Top 3 now. Top three. Let's bing bang blow these out. Yeah, shall we?
Yeah, we'll go quicker.
So, number 3 is a movie that needs no introduction. It's called Sorry to Bother You, directed by Boots Riley. It came out in 2018. It's titled here Comedy, Drama, Fantasy, starring Lakeith Stanfield. This movie is wacky. Boots Riley is wacky, and he shows you how to use cinema to really like push the envelope to like what can be achieved practically on camera. And there's a lot of magical realism in this movie. That's one of my favorite kind of genres, is taking, I guess, things about our world and adding some sense of like mystery or adding some sense of fantasy to things that we already know. And this movie centers around this telemarketer, Lakeith Stanfield, this guy who's trying to get some money to pay his rent. And he signs up for this telemarketing service, and it's a weird telemarketing service. Stephen Yeun's in it. There's Patton Oswalt, I think, is in it. There's a ton. Tessa Thompson is in it. There's Terry Crews. The list goes on. It is, oh my gosh, Armie Hammer's in it.
Whoa.
It's a really well shot movie. I think it mirrors I think it is definitely a mirror up to what maybe we go through in our day to day. And that's always something that really I appreciate. Especially, a lot of people like to make movies about like other times, and it's cool to have movies set in today, dealing with today's problems, and like I guess going through some of the stuff that we know right now. Lakeith Stanfield is a fantastic actor in this. He really is able to be so human-like and also rope in really well or loop in really well to some of the crazy, wacky stuff that goes on. He's a great lead in this. And it's, I think that's, if you like some wacky stuff, this is definitely for you. Jordan, number 3?
Number 3 for me is Juice,
Nice.
1992, written by Gerard Brown and directed by Ernest Dickerson, classic director. You got some heavy hitters in there too. Omar Epps.
Yep.
You might know from House, but he was Q first. Tupac, of course, is Bishop. Jermaine Hopkins as Steele, and Khalil as Raheem. So this is Tupac's breakout role. It's what do you call it? It's a crime thriller.
Mm-hmm.
4 friends navigating life. They commit some crimes, and one of them, Bishop, gets kind of caught up, and he gets obsessed with power in leading his friend group. There's like there's a robbery that goes wrong. Basically, when the robbery goes wrong, he pulls a gun on one of his friends, and he just turns heel, and everyone knows like, yo, this guy is really like crazy. And he embraces that, and then he starts like a friend in the group, and then he becomes almost like the antagonist. Classic movie. A lot of people don't realize there's a very small Samuel L. Jackson like cameo.
Yeah.
He plays a DJ.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, have y'all seen it?
Yeah, I have.
I haven't.
Yeah, I'd recommend everyone just go back and watch some of Tupac's movies.
He's a really phenomenal actor, and also just like so apparently smart.
Yeah.
When anything that you see him in, it's just he feels like such a well-rounded individual.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where I'm like, man, can you imagine like
what it would be like if he was so around?
But when I wouldn't know. Like, especially when you hear about multiple roles being written for him.
Yeah.
And he would be,
Yeah, I mean, he'd
he'd
probably
be
be
Al Pacino,
making.
He'd be a Denzel. He'd be.
Yeah, he might be.
Will Smith.
Yeah, I was about to say he could be either. He could be. There's 2 ends of the spectrum.
Check it out.
I love that. Monica, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is 13 Going on 30.
Okay.
Starring
It's classic.
Jennifer Gardner and Mark Ruffalo, directed by Gary Winnick. I saw this movie when it came out in 2004, and it left a very big impression on me. Obviously, like if you've never seen 13 Going on 30, what the hell are you doing? But also, for those that haven't,
it's okay. Watch it when you're 30. That's what I did.
Okay, great. Great.
It's about this 13-year-old girl who is so desperate to be an adult, and she makes a wish that she's 30, flirty, and thriving, and then she wakes up 17 years later and she's 30 years old.
It's the woman big.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of like, oh my God, like I got to go to prom with the hottest guy in school, and I'm working here, whatever. And she realizes that it's not really what she truly wanted. And just personally, at the time, I was hanging around with people who were, when you're that age, when you're young, like you're such in a rush to grow up. And watching this again made me cry. And kind of the lesson that I learned from this movie is not to be such in a rush to grow up or want to have all these responsibilities, because time is such a thief, and once it's gone, like you can't get any of that back. And it also was like, I watched it And I was like, oh my God, I love Mark Ruffalo. I want to find like the love of my life as like my best friend. And that's how we end up together. And it's sweet and it's funny and it's my comfort movie. Also, Andy Serkis is so funny in it.
Nice. I like Andy
And there's an
Serkis.
amazing scene where they do the Thriller dance.
Okay.
Nice.
It's so funny.
That's definitely one of my movies is like that, where it's like no matter what, it's just an awesome movie.
Great.
Do you want to go back to back and say your number 2?
Yeah.
Go for it. What's your number 2?
My number 2, I'm going to go with an ode to one of the first movies that I watched my little girl childhood is Cinderella.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
1950 animated. I think it's incredibly beautifully animated.
Hand drawn.
Yes, it's adorable. Again, I cry in a lot of movies, and I still, at 28 years old, will cry when Cinderella sings "A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes."
Mm.
I don't know if it's the voice or it's the music that just makes me tear up. And again, like the lesson that I learned when I was very young watching this movie is like, I need to be kind and to be kind to others. And also to have resilience, which is what I took from this movie. And growing up, like Cinderella was kind of like almost my idol because she was so strong, but also never, despite everything being against her, she was still so kind and able to help others.
Mm-hmm.
And her dress is not blue, Disney.
It's
not blue.
It's gray?
It's like a
white?
metallic silver. It reflects. So in the scenes where she's dancing with the prince, it looks blue.
So it's like white.
And the reason why they made it blue is because when they were releasing merchandise, they realized we can't really get this color.
Oh.
So that's why they turned it blue.
And they're not mice. Wait.
They are mice.
They're rats.
No, it's Gus, Gus, and Jack.
Gus, Gus, and Jack. Jordan, is your number 2 also a Disney movie?
No, I asked my Disney movie.
Damn.
It's my honorable mention.
Okay.
But my number 2 is surprisingly not my number 1, but it's 50 First Dates.
Oh, okay.
Hawaii.
Directed by Peter Segal, written by George Wing, starring Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore,
Oh my God, that's
Rob
so...
Schneider. Sean Astin
Yeah.
is, I think Sean Astin's great in there. You know him from The Goonies and
Stranger Things.
And of course, it also stars Hawaii Ne. Yeah, it just, that movie's, I love Adam Sandler movies. So when that came out, it was like, boom.
An unexpected banger from Adam Sandler. It's way more heartfelt than like any of his other stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's Adam Sandler formula where he does like a lot of his movies takes like a heartfelt.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this TikTok recently when it was like the formula for Adam Sandler movies, and it was some guy impersonating him.
Okay.
And it always has like those moments where Adam Sandler has those rage moments, and then he has those like, well, I don't know, I just want you to love me kind of scenes. And
this one, I think maybe the story then or the writing was better than the rest of them.
Yeah, and it's inspired by a real case of a type of amnesia, which I just learned is called anterograde amnesia.
Really?
And it was originally written to be set in Seattle. But I think moving it to Hawaii was
the right move.
Absolutely.
That's the right move for any movie. Let's be real.
Yeah, every movie should. I mean, Blue Beetle, Hawaii.
They should have. Right? Yeah, that could have been fucking Pagu Island, or where was it supposed to be?
Spider-Man, Far From Hawaii. Boom, easy. But yeah, it's a banger for sure.
Did you cry?
I cry every time I think about Hawaii, but no, when I see it, I don't know. I was like a kid when I saw it, and then it became like a good movie to watch for like my partner and I when we first got together. So that was like a cool like. Do you like 50 First Dates? I like 50 First Dates.
Let's watch it.
Cute.
So it's a movie that we often rewatch. It's a sad movie, but I don't really cry. It's more of a laughter movie.
Yeah,
than a cry movie.
If you like what, you'll like 50 First Dates.
Ooh. Damn, I don't know. If you like, I don't know. What would you say?
If you like the movie Grown Ups, you'll like 50 First
yeah,
Dates.
I was gonna say like a Because I had Superbad on my list too. Like who did Superbad?
Jonah Hill,
No.
Seth Rogen, Judd Apatow.
Yeah.
If you like Forgetting Sarah Marshall,
If you like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, you'll like it. You like that. If you like This Is 40,
If you like McLovin,
if you like Knocked Up,
okay. Oh, we're just going all the Apatow.
I don't
Okay. My number 2 is maybe the movie that I've seen the most. I don't know, but it's Men in Black, 1997, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld. This movie is sick, y'all. I think I'm having a hard time. Monica has given some of the best, I guess, lessons to be learned from movies. You really popped off here. The lesson that you learn from Men in Black, I guess, is like, can't judge a book by its cover, but also in accepting folk. Like, you don't know who you're talking to. I think there's also a really big theme of like, it's easy to feel so small and insignificant in your world, but if you are kind to your neighbor and kind to the folk around you, like it can make a huge difference to that world. It's a really maybe obvious story. I don't know if anything super surprising happens. I think Will Smith does a fantastic job as a lead. Like, he is unexpected. Call? Oh, maybe the other room? Damn. He is just firing off on all ends. He's like definitely, what do you call it? Like leading man, but also so damn funny and charming. Like, I think of the scene where he's trying to take the test and he's moving the chair or the table closer to him and dragging it across him, or he gets, they have all the alien cardboards that come up and he has to shoot them all, and there's a little girl and everyone else has shot all the aliens and he's the only one that didn't shoot any of them, and he only shoots the little girl with the AP Calc textbook. And he's like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "Well, sir, I mean, look at the alien. He's just doing pull-ups here. Like, he's just chilling. And this guy, he has a tissue. He's just sneezing. And that girl, it's 2 a.m. Why is she out with a calc? Well, with the chemistry, AP Chem, she's up to something else." So
Yeah.
I just like it's very. I think it's maybe like some of Will Smith's other movies. It shows you like the inner, like who you are on the inside is what matters. You could do thousands of push-ups and be the smartest person and like be on paper the most legit person, but there's also some critical thinking and some human, like you gotta be a great person as well. And I think that like Agent K already had all those qualities before he joined the agency. And the Pug, there's talking animals in it. It's just a fantastic flick. Have you guys seen this one?
Yeah.
Nar.
Oh man,
Directed by. Did you ever say it was directed by?
Barry Sonnenfeld.
Yeah.
It's a great trilogy. It's a great trilogy. It escalates really well. The characters, none of the characters feel invaluable. Like you're obviously following these two agents, but all of the other characters have some really great depth to them. It's a New York movie, so if you live in New York, like you can recognize a lot of the locations. And similarly to like Sorry to Bother You, how it adds this like magical realism element. This one is just straight up, alternate reality, like Gotham. It's like, yep, this is New York, but yeah, there's worms in the like big ass giant dune worms in the subway. Yep, that's New York. Like whatever. And I would love to have one of those neuralizers.
Yeah, I know Men in Black. They had a lot of banger cameos. That's in their whole
Monk.
Yeah.
I mean, what's his name from Full Metal Jacket? That dude who plays the cockroach guy. I mean, he's great.
And then they have like Easter eggs too, where they put Steven Spielberg and George Lucas as aliens, like in one of the
Michael
scenes.
Jackson is an alien. Like,
Michael Jackson is in Men in Black 2, and
Okay.
Biz Markie is also in there.
oh yeah,
So the whole
he's at the post office.
yeah. So
That's
the
his language.
iconic
That's fire.
Will Smith beatbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that leaves only one left for number one.
Number one.
All right, so number one is left only to Intouchables, The Untouchables, 2011 flick. No, it's not The Godfather. I'm not a cinephile like that, I guess. But this is my favorite movie right now, and it has been for a while. Like Monica mentioned with some of hers, it is a movie that never ceases to put a smile on my face. I think the acting is tremendous. The story is heartwarming. It is so joyous and also so heartbreaking. It follows Omar Sy as a caretaker to a quadriplegic. And I think it is it's just a great found family story. And it's a great, it shows you kind of, it reminded me a little bit of what you were saying earlier, kind of about X, how, people with certain conditions deserve just as much love as everyone else. And it can be really hard and difficult to take care of some folk, but that doesn't mean that they're less deserving of anything. And my favorite movie. I can't
So
even,
good.
there's some things that I can't even dissect it enough because I am always so drawn into what's going on. It's a movie where you can't help but be so hopeful for these characters. And it's based on a true story as well. So if you like that, definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Monica,
Omar Sy.
Jordan, I mean, what makes a movie number one for you? Is it just mean that if it's on, you'll always rewatch it? You never get bored of it? It's something that you want to put on everyone too? What's number one for you?
Yeah, I think it hits all those for me. My number one does. Like,
I think for me, it left me thinking about it for a couple days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So my number one, shout out to Justin Hurwitz and Damien Chazelle. I wish this movie got
Babylon?
more love. I love Babylon.
Okay.
I
Another Hollywood history making movie?
love Babylon. I love movies about how movies are made. And this movie is about the rise and fall of these four people in the industry going from the silent film era to the talkies.
Dude, I auditioned for that. I auditioned for this one.
Dude, it's
No way.
Yeah.
I love it. The Justin Hurwitz with the music, the soundtrack to this film is so good.
Yeah, Damien
Sometimes they'll play it
Chazelle,
in the
he's the
car.
music guy. I mean,
Yeah,
he definitely, he was a music major in college, so fantastic.
absolutely
Love it.
fantastic. And I love that for these four people, it really goes into like how much their lives have changed. Again, Brad Pitt plays this like washed up star. Margot Robbie is this small town girl who's just trying to make it.
Yep. Diego Calva.
Yeah. Diego Calva. Shout out Diego Calva. So good. This Latino Mexicano who's trying to become a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And then
Brad Pitt takes him under his wing.
Is that you? Is that what you went for?
Yeah. I mean, he was so much older.
And then Jovan Adepo, who plays a black musician.
Yeah. A trumpetist? Yes. Yeah. Really good. Also does so much to show you like the time.
Mm-hmm. That's what I really love about it. The scene, the transition from when they arrive on set and you have like 3 different sets all in one place, and it's okay, and you can be loud or whatever and whatnot. And then even to where how important the sun was, because this is the 1920s, we're filming on like 4K 6K cameras.
Yeah.
We have these like super nice lights. Like back then they had the sunlight.
Yeah.
And that's it. And how incredibly important it was to make sure that you didn't lose the light. And the director's like absolutely losing his shit because it's about to be sunset. And there's not that many cameras, you gotta like drive out into the city to hopefully find one. And then how they built like the first sets in the 30s, and here's the mic, and you can't move it, and you have to be at a certain,
Yeah.
voice level, and it was just so fascinating to me how movies are made at the time.
100. I love Damien Chazelle. I love his movies, and I think Diego Calva was maybe my favorite part of that movie. Now that I'm
Mhm.
thinking about it, like it's he feels like maybe the audience
Hmm.
in that he's bearing witness to all of this craziness, and has to like kind of be, and also like how dirty it kind of gets, how down into the like trenches you got to get, and how sometimes, yeah, you're just doing something for so long, and then you just turn around and you realize like, oh my shit, I'm a different person now.
Mhm.
This is I blink. I don't even remember making a lot of these decisions.
Also makes you think how incredibly spoiled we are to be alive in this time
Yeah.
and being in this industry where we have all this technology, and
True.
how these people were like truly geniuses and pioneers in their craft.
Also, shout out to Margot Robbie, because she maybe gives one of my favorite performances of her, in the sense that I was watching that movie, jaw dropped, like, oh my God, I might be embarrassed if I had to do some of this stuff. As an actor, you just sometimes have to embarrass yourself and
Mhm.
do crazy shit, like dance around a whole party while all this stuff is happening, or like, it really made me think like, whoa, whatever pep talk she gives to herself before doing these
Mhm.
scenes, like, all right, we gotta do it. Like, it is so impressive seeing her command the room and really just like, yeah, like, whoa, that's not Margot Robbie. I know that for
Mhm.
sure. Jordan, that only leaves you, bro, for your favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, actually, this is not my right now. This is actually, I would say, my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
It's I Am Legend.
Whoa, Will
Uh,
Smith.
Will Smith, 2007.
Let's go.
It's a
Wow.
post-apocalyptic thriller. I guess I like to be thrilled. I don't know. I'm learning a lot about myself.
You like monsters too.
No, not really. Cloverfield was like a one-off.
Have you listened to this super niche underground album called Thriller by this singer called Michael Jackson?
Yes. Yes. If TV movies and miniseries were available on this list, my true number one would have been Jackson's The American Dream. But
Okay.
we'll talk about that on another podcast.
That'll be on the bonus.
Yeah, I Am Legend, recent 07, directed by Francis Lawrence, and based off of Richard Matheson's 1954 novel.
Whoa.
Have y'all seen it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just knowing like what would you do in that situation? Like, would you survive? Like, where do
No.
y'all rate? Like,
Now
do
just
y'all
tell me.
die in the first wave of people? Are y'all lasting a year? Are you starting a new community? How long do y'all think you would last in this scenario? Because that's what I think about.
Probably not very long.
No more than a week.
No more than a
Yeah,
week.
like, because it's really quick, right? In this movie, like,
It happens quick.
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, no, I think a week, a month, maybe.
Got it. I'm surviving to the end.
As we mentioned, I'm the crib that everyone goes to, so like my spot would be blown up right quick. It would
Yeah.
be-
I'd like to say I'm final girl material, but
Start thinking about it.
I don't know.
Final girl material?
Realistically, I
Final
don't
girl?
think I can.
I haven't heard that before, but I
You've
got
never
it.
heard of the final girl?
As soon as you.
That's Kill Bill, I guess.
Like
Uma Thurman's the
final
final
girl,
girl.
like a horror movie. She's like the last one standing, like in the Scream movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's Mia Goth. I don't know what that. Yeah.
Eve Campbell.
Eve Campbell.
yeah.
When did you first see that movie? When it came out?
A little bit after. I think it was one of the ones that I got like at home. Where I don't think I saw it in the theater.
And why would you suggest it to someone?
That's true. Here, watch this movie. It's about everybody dying. I think it's one of my favorite Will Smith performances. I think it just, yeah, I like post-apocalyptic genre. So
Did you cry in this one?
surely I did. Definitely in the scene in
Yeah.
the lab with the dog.
Oh
For sure. I'm
no!
about to start crying right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the dog is a fan favorite. My favorite scene is the scene where he's going to the movie store and he like has all of his friends in there,
Oh yeah.
the mannequins. That's when you know like this shit is real. He's not just like some. I think it's admirable to see this person that's surviving and sustaining and has a system and technology and is searching for a cure, and then you see him go to a fucking Blockbuster and be a loony
Yeah.
and start hitting on this mannequin. It just lets you. It made it real. Without those scenes, it just becomes too like
Action-y.
look at this guy. He's so great. He's a doctor. He's a virologist, but he's also he went batshit crazy.
He's so hot.
What?
What?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, I love that, gang.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for indulging me on this quick pivot. I loved hearing about y'all's favorite movies, and I can't wait to get to watch them and revisit some of them.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch. Yeah, Monica, you had some bangers. I don't think I've seen any of your movies. I don't know why.
I know.
Definitely-
I
I've seen a lot of yours. So that was cool. It was good
Yeah.
to see that, yeah.
Well,
I know I got bangers.
Now
I
I'm
got
thinking
taste.
of so much more now though.
yeah, okay. To wrap this up, do you want to do a song of the week maybe that has to do with a movie?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you got it? Go for it.
My song of the week is probably the most iconic. I try to think about what is the most memorable song out of these 5 movies that we mentioned,
Okay.
and to me it has to be Bob Marley and the Wailers' 3 Little Birds.
Oh, fire.
Okay. Yeah, that scene when Will Smith or Robert Neville was closing up his house. I think it's closing up the house, and you hear 3 Little Birds, and I think there's some sound design. There's a point where it echoes out. you know,
Fire.
and it's complete darkness.
Dude, I'm surprised that you even came up with one from your movies. Monica?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the first song that I see here, and it's "All the Stars," Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Ooh,
Okay.
a Drake, one of the very early Drake disses.
One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard
Did you know
for
that's
an MCU
No.
It's
film.
Drake diss. Listen to it again, and now you'll hear it.
Okay, my song is Fantastic Mr. Fox, aka PD's song from the original soundtrack of Fantastic Mr. Fox. What's your favorite movie? I want to know. I want to watch it. If you haven't been to the New Beverly, check it out. Go to the Alamo Draft House. Go to movie theaters.
Support local small movie theaters.
We need you to go to the movies. We need you to watch all the movies so that we can continue to make them on the theater. So thank you for joining me and my friends this week.
Last but not least, shout out to Connor M.
Shout out Connor M.
Lobito of the
Connor.
week.
Connor.
Connor.
We love you, bro. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. I really appreciate you. Jordan, Monica, and Jacob, we really appreciate you as well. If you want to be like Connor M. and be a part of this episode or any of our further episodes, you can join Lobitos exclusivos at lonelobos.supercast.com. Thanks, y'all. As always, I'm one half of your host, Xolo Maridueña, joined by Jacob's got diamonds, girlfriend. We'll see if he makes it in there. But ciao, bacalao.
This episode of Lone Lobos is a Lone Lobos production, produced by Monica Tamayo and JMKM, with intro music by Nicholas Gray. Like what you hear? Check us out on Instagram at Lone Lobos.